Hello, welcome to Red Stain Radio, a Dead by Daylight podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Bryson, and I'm joined by my two lovely co-hosts, Stevie and Maddie.
Hi.
Hello.
How we doing, y'all?
Hey, okay. I mean, just playing video games all day. Makes it good for days.
I was alive. I'm a little anxious. I'm going into my final exams in like a week or two.
Oh,
And I'm almost done. Almost
luck.
done schooling.
Yeah,
I have one more
power through.
semester
That's
after this. And then
That's
I'm
heavy. You're almost there.
You're almost there.
Done. Almost there.
The
I'm at
degree is in your
goalpost.
grasp.
Yeah.
You're gonna do
Oh,
great. You're gonna do great.
Thank you.
Well,
Proud of all our students.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Good luck to all the student listeners out there. This is episode 42 of Red Stain Radio. We're going to be reviewing the Dead by Daylight's Year 9. Everything that was on the roadmap has been released, other than, I will say with the caveat of The Last Rift, which we got a teaser today, which we'll discuss at the end of the episode because it is at the end of our timeline. And we're going to cover all the content, balancing, updates, and we're going to give our thoughts and give a score at the end. That's kind of something new we're going to do. This episode, we're going to start scoring updates, reviews, balancing, things like that. And we're going to be running a new segment in this episode as well. So it's going to be a running segment. Every episode we're going to do this. So that's going to be at the end of the episode. So if you want to hear what that is about, stick around and find out. But before we get into any of that, we want to let you know of a few little fun announcements. So Sunday, June 14th is the Dead by Daylight anniversary live stream. They're having their live event. But we're also going to be live reacting and live streaming on Twitch our reactions. We already have a Twitch account and a channel up. You can go follow us now using the link in the description. And we're going to be going forward from there and from now until there, well beyond, we're going to be streaming regularly. Don't really have a schedule right now, but we're hoping to do it at least 2 times a week and really just whenever one of us wants to stream. It'll primarily be DVD focused, but also occasionally it will be another game. Maybe it's Casting of Frank Stone. Maybe it's another horror game like Resident Evil 9 when one of us wants to boot that up, or maybe we all play it together. But going forward is just kind of be kind of here and there, and we'll make sure you all know when we're live in the Discord, and we'll also make sure we'll tweet something out or post something on Instagrams or whatever. But so follow us in those areas as well. But we're really excited to start live streaming. That's something we have discussed a lot of times, but we just haven't pulled the trigger on. But now we're going to do that.
Yeah.
The dominoes are all in place.
Yes.
Now it is up to you, listener. Go follow Red Stain Radio on Twitch.tv.
And let me know what you think of the About page. I really liked those cards I made. I'm really proud of them, but let me know what y'all think. Again, the link, we're going to be live streaming that live reaction on the day, which is Sunday, June 14th. We don't know the time yet, but when we know the time, we will let you know, and we'll remind you more of this soon. Again, another live streaming kind of special thing here. Red Stain Radio's 1-year anniversary is coming up. It's coming up a few weeks after the anniversary. It is insane that it has been almost a year of this podcast. First of all, thank you all for listening for this long or watching. It's greatly appreciated. But also Stevie and Maddie, thank you both for being wonderful co-hosts. It's been a great time speaking with you all about DVD and beyond that and playing DVD together.
I don't want to get off the ride. This is great.
Yeah, we're having a good time and it's not going anywhere.
Yeah. Honestly, this is one of the best things I've ever done personally. So thanks so much, Stevie and Bryson.
That's
and
amazing.
Viewers.
Yeah.
I love you guys so much.
I look forward to it every week.
No, this is the self-glazing hour. We're so proud.
This is the glazing hour.
Thank you for listening, viewers.
Oh, yeah.
You should be part of history.
Yes.
Don't forget it. Red Stain Radio in the fucking books. 1 year coming up in like 2 months.
And to celebrate that 1 year, that will be episode 51, actually, that 1 year anniversary. To celebrate that, we're going to have a live Q&A episode in the Discord. We'll host a stage. People can jump in and we'll call on folks to ask questions or input their thoughts and opinions on whatever topic we're discussing and whatever kind of news is around that area. But also just take your questions about what build should I run, or what do you think about this concept in DBD, or what do you think about this chapter, or what, just general questions. We want you to come and give us your feedback and your questions, and we will love to answer them live. We'll record that as well, so if you can't catch it live, you can listen to it afterwards. So that is going to be episode 51, and more details will be coming up, and you can RSVP in the Discord now. I will have an event by the time this comes out that you can RSVP for that. Now, with the announcements out of the way, some exciting stuff. Thank you for sticking around. We have a lot of good stuff coming up. So this is episode 42, and we're talking about year 9 of DBD, which is coming to an end. It'll be April. The end of April will essentially be the end of year 9 as we move into June. It's been a long year. We've had a lot of content. We've had a lot of things to jump into, enjoy, maybe hate, complain about, rejoice and praise behavior and just DBD overall. Before we jump into the roadmap, which we're going to start from the PAX East 2025 anniversary stream, and we're going to work our way down by each month. We're going to break it down.
Let's send ourselves back to the past.
Yeah, I want to kind of get your
2015. We're going back to May.
I want to get your all's feelings just on this year. Where you sitting now, Stevie? I'll jump to you first. What have you thought about year 9 of DBD?
I have to remember that I was like the most excited, hopeful person last year. Around this time last year, when I was like sitting on my hands, like it's got to be Springtrap. It's going to be Springtrap. That was the best I had ever felt about DBD. Don't get me wrong. Like, I am not going to downplay that part. Like, I was like, they finally did it. The license that all the people would rage quit the game if they added, they're adding.
Yes.
And he's great.
Oh my God.
Sending myself back to PAX, though, I am like kind of remembering how scared I was too when they dropped the roadmap and they looked like they had all these fun ideas and they were so hopeful, and I couldn't buy it. I couldn't buy it that they were going to do the health update.
I don't think anyone bought it.
I couldn't buy it that they were going to have some more stuff planned, but it came out. They squeezed it out. How were y'all during the PAX? Like, were you remembering where you were, how you felt?
Yeah. Kind of parroting what you said, Stevie. I was pretty excited for the beginning of year 9 when Springtrap was announced. And I was really happy. We were starting this podcast. One of my favorite franchises got added to Dead by Daylight, one of the games I love so much. And I was looking at the roadmap like, wow, this is really good. The Witcher as cosmetics, whoa. But I would be a liar to say if this year wasn't rough for Dead by Daylight, because I'd say half of it was pretty good, pretty decent. And then the other half was very disappointing, very lackluster, and just not up to standard for a $20 video game that's been going on for 9 years. And that's kind of the main sentiment I have throughout this year, and I'll be parrying that a lot, especially when we go through each month. Behavior has worked on this game for 9 years. I feel like they should know better. Obviously, people are going to make mistakes with new people or things that you don't predict. I totally get that. But this year, for me at least, was a really clear sign of, oh my God, dude, what are they doing? In the nicest way possible, of course.
I'm glad that this is the year that woke you up to that, and you're not still coping about it.
Because I like to give people the benefit of the doubt. I like to be nice. I like to be empathetic. Because this can be really difficult, this and that. But it gets to a point where you have to ask yourself, did they play it? Did they try these things out? Did they think maybe we should delay this even if people are upset, so we don't release actually a broken game that costs $20 to enter? And they were like, no. So it's kind of hard to have sympathy for that. On top of it being a business, they want to make money. So, yeah. Mainly complaining about the people up top, like the executives and CEOs, not really the people who are all that. Making that clear.
I would absolutely
clear.
I would absolutely echo everything you're saying, Maddie. Face value for the PAX East, kind of reveal, which we'll get into the details here in a second. Face value, I think it's great. Awesome. They're going to address anti-tunneling. They're going to address tunneling. They're going to address slugging. They're going to They're going to include all these quality of life, like an MMR update. Like, that's awesome. This game has been needing for so long. And then when you start to analyze and get to the nitty gritty, they spent so much time on things that we just didn't get. Anti-slugging, anti-tunneling. You know, we did not get an MMR update. They put resources into things like a pallet density update that they had to revert and change many, many times. That is still very, very criticized to this day. And people are still thinking there's issues with pallet density. And I agree. I think anecdotally, I think there are some issues, but I think at face value, it was a great showing. But I think when you really break it down and get into the events of the year, it really fell apart. And I think some of these chapters are forgettable. I think this one of this year might have some of those forgettable pieces of content. Like, despite how much I love some of these characters, I think some, in terms of like content, not in terms of events or maybe like characters, but I think some of these chapters are just really like overshadowed by the issues that this year had. And so, which we'll get into the details with. And I think I've echoed in the past as well, especially with like The Walking Dead, but we'll get into it. Let's get into the PAX East 2025 anniversary stream. Quick overview. We're not getting super nitty gritty here, but they revealed the roadmap for year 10, which teased on there. They had faded letters that spelled out The Ones Who Live, which is an obvious reference to the Rick and Michonne show, which told us we're getting The Walking Dead later that year. They also revealed gameplay and quality of life improvements, such as anti-camping refinements, anti-slugging, and anti-tunneling. These were all very much there. They also had MMR update on there, anti-cheat improvements, which I don't think we've gotten improvements to those yet. And they even tease modes and modifiers coming to custom matches, and that has not happened yet either. So they also gave a screenshot of the Freddy Fazbear Pizzeria map coming with a FNAF chapter. They revealed Matthew Lillard was voice acting the Springtrap movie cosmetic. What is that cosmetic called?
The yellow rabbit.
The yellow rabbit.
Okay, the yellow rabbit. I couldn't ever think of it.
Yeah.
And then they announced. No, you're good. And then they announced other notable thing here, the Witcher cosmetic collection, which some people were bummed was just a cosmetic collection and not an actual chapter. Fair, you win some, you lose some, right? Like, you can't really do that. But that was PAX East. That was in June of last year, I think, or maybe late May. I can't quite remember.
May, June, roughly.
Yeah, around that time. What do we think about just kind of any thoughts here? I know we kind of gave overall thoughts, but what do we think about the PAX anniversary stream?
Honestly, I was really hopeful when I saw that because I was like, wow, because I'm always like that whenever there's like an anniversary event for any kind of game or show I'm watching, when they're announcing like new stuff. I'm always like, what? That's crazy. But for this one, I was feeling pretty hopeful compared to other years just because like it seemed like they kind of had their shit together. They're like, wow, oh my god, like this roadmap looks solid. Oh my god, they're adding FNAF. I'm so excited. They got teasers. Oh my god. Probably their IP as a cosmetic, so if they don't want to make it a chapter, I could be like, hey, they could do a Witcher. So that was really cool, and they did that with like Attack on Titan, for example. And yeah, just then in general, I was really excited. Much to my dismay later in the year, but we will get to that.
No, like 100%. I have to remember how much this year had me like face palming and like, cringing and doing all the like I'm sad reactions. But I have to give it that like June and May of last year, I was like, there's Freddy Fazbear. This map is so cool. They actually got Matthew Lillard, my favorite, horror husband, Scooby-Doo's Shaggy. Like, it's Matthew freaking Lillard, dude.
Screaming 13 Ghosts. Like, he's in a lot of horror movies.
Yeah. So, like, it was genuinely mind-blowing, at least for a month. Like, I'll give it that. There was a week when I was like, this game is on top. And the Steam chart said so. We broke the freaking records with Springtrap, and then we broke the record again.
Yeah, we'll begin to that.
Yeah. I'm totally with you all. Like this, I was on cloud 9 after this. Like, this is awesome. I was bummed they didn't reveal Springtrap at the time. They only gave like little teases here and there in the screenshots of the map. But we got we got a later live stream. I think the week following, or maybe 2 weeks after, revealing his power and such. So yeah, it was a really good time, and I was really excited to have an MMR update and have custom
Right, you see all
or
this
custom
stuff on the
lobby
list, and
stuff.
you're like,
Yeah,
that
like,
would be great. I've wanted that years ago.
and some of it just never came up.
I'm ready for the next section. That's just don't worry. I'm staying ready for
Listeners,
the next
Maddie has grabbed her FNAF
My
plushies.
FNAF plushies. I'm ready for the next session.
Love it. Yeah, so we'll just jump into it. June 2025, then the FNAF chapter releases. We got Springtrap and Freddy's Pizzeria map, which became part of the, what realm is it? I always forget.
Withered Isles.
Withered Isles. So it's in with Garden of Joy and Greenville Square.
Yes.
What did we think of FNAF? That was our first episode, by the way, our first
That was
review.
our first episode.
Review of this episode. So
May I go first?
go.
Yeah, no,
of
please,
course.
you're ready for
it.
All right, so I'm gonna start with the positive, and then we'll do the negative. Positive, Springtrap is amazing. Just like graphically, he has looked the best he ever has in any sort of video game, even compared to the originals. Because as much as I like Scott Cawthon's work, his modeling skills for people actually suck ass. Like if you look inside Springtrap in the original games, he looks like Play-Doh. Like I mean that full stop. He looks like Play-Doh. But in Dead by Daylight, he has a fully, mostly anatomically correct body trapped inside. Because in the lore, he gets trapped in the suit by the victims that he killed that came back as ghosts, the vengeful ghosts. And then he gets like Springtrap because of the water and humidity, blah, 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 blah. But he looks really good. He's really high fidelity. Things actually make sense on him. And just overall, he looks amazing. Additionally, his gameplay is really fun. You have multiple different ways to modify his axe, so you can use it to your benefit or survivors downplay, dismay. There we go. But that and the doors too are really fun because it gives survivors a fun way to run around the map and find the killer. But there's a little bit of danger because if you're going through the door and Springtrap's going through the door, you get automatically caught. And it was just really fun. And the Freddy Fazbear map is, dare I say, one of the most balanced maps in all of Dead by Daylight, surprisingly. It doesn't feel too survivor-sided or too killer-sided. Like, it leans a bit into the survivor side just because the main building is a big line of sight blocker, and there's some pretty good loops on the inside. But besides that, the map is really solid and fun to play on. There's some memorable loops on it that always spawn. There are some that are a little different. And just overall, there's a lot of love in the map, in Springtrap and his skit. Now we go into the negatives, in my opinion. For a year 9 anniversary chapter, there was a very disappointing lack of content. Like, besides the anniversary event and Springtrap getting added and his skins and the shirts. Oh my god, I love the shirts. There wasn't a lot of skins. And like, I don't know. I understand Scott doesn't want the main 4 animatronics to show up as killers or skins because he wants to keep them innocent, because at the end of the day, those characters are haunted by dead children. He doesn't want the dead children to be evil.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It just gets to a point where it's like, have some whimsy. Let the child kill. I think that would be okay. Like, we're not killing the children are killing us. And if like you really didn't want to go that way, there are multiple characters and versions of those characters that aren't the dead children. Like, he could have used the nightmare animatronics, which are the spooky version and also aren't haunted. They're just imagination. And like, if they can make Glitch Trap a skin for Springtrap, I feel like they could have made the skins for like the clown or something, for like Nightmare Fredbear or something. I don't know. I'm just reaching here. I just feel like they could have done a lot of stuff like that. And I'm understanding that the reason probably they didn't do a lot of content is because Scott was like, no. And for that, I hate him. I hate him for more reasons for that, more important reasons, but we're not going to get into that.
Yeah.
But just kind of top it all off, in my opinion, I feel like there should have been more. And also, there's the little stuff that kind of made me a little annoyed. Like, we didn't forget about Foxy. That's why he's on the map. It's been a year, and they haven't mentioned him fucking. Like, they forgot his ass.
We didn't forget about Foxy. That's why we nerfed the one add-on with his name. That's why we didn't touch anything about anything Foxy related.
Another disappointing thing, in my opinion, besides the lack of like additional content for this chapter, was at the time it was not too buggy. I will say, however, it got stale kind of quickly after you played on the map a bunch of times with the map specific queue, which I also really like. I like that.
Yeah.
But when there's only one killer and one map, and that's basically it, besides the anniversary event, it gets to you, because the anniversary event, even though they said at the time was the last iteration of the Masquerade, the Twisted Masquerade, which is the one they've been doing for the last 3, 4, 5 years, it got a little boring. Like, it's fun for like a day or two, but after a while, you kind of got bored of it. So overall, even though we finally got Springtrap, got FNAF, yay, and we're probably gonna get FNAF second chapter because it broke record numbers, and it was just this fucking guy. I wish there was more. I'm greedy. I know. Oh my god, her greed sickens me. But come on, dude, I want more. But yeah. Also, we'll say this now when we get into it later. Concerningly, this was probably the best, or at least the second best chapter this year, which for it being the first one,
Yeah, I agree with you there.
not great.
It's all downhill after the
It
anniversary.
goes downhill
premiere,
basically.
year 9.
Well, I mean, it gets a little better.
I think it peaks around Stranger Things, but we'll get into that.
So
Okay.
that's my thoughts. Stevie, you're next.
Like good and bad, I will say it. Like the map, it has a nice spot in me. I love the Wither Isle maps. Like when Garden of Joy came out, I love the aesthetic. I just had so many gripes with like the actual geometry of it. Like I was mad at like little things, like why does Shaq catch me? But that being said, it's maps that like are the urban and spooky ones I like. I miss Haddonfield because it's gone. So Pizzeria map, it's like my closest to like an urban center.
Yeah,
I like it still. If I was back in time, June when this map came out, I got my fill of the map specific queue, and I was kind of done with it then, and it was only Springtrap. But when you're up against other killers there, it really is a solid map. When you get to actually see like the host of DBD killers on a map like the Pizzeria map, it's a fun crossover because you're running around normal DBD tiles, and then all of a sudden Bubba's in Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria joint. It feels great.
Yo,
it feels good.
Yeah,
I love Springtrap as well. The voice lines, he's so British, and like you don't really hear him. You don't really hear him like laughing or speaking in the other games, like the actual Five Nights at Freddy's games. It's mainly screams. It's mainly like little voice clips after you've beaten the game. It'll play something for you from the phone guy or from a recording.
Yeah.
But when he's like in your lobby and he's like, the pits of hell are open for business.
He's so fucking
I'm like, oh, he's got it. He's got the
so
sauce.
fucking cheesy.
And I see that sauce as like Scott Cawthorn was the only one who could handle this IP and give it out. It's his baby. It's his mind child.
Mm-hmm.
And if he is not going to let you into his mind, you can't make it. So the fact that they got this far and they got like so close to accurately representing what's in the guy's head versus like anything else that has like he couldn't articulate what he had in his mind when he modeled the character the first time. It was like, there's going to be enough shadows. You're not going to see under the mask. I don't have to make the guy look good. I just have to make this face look scary. So when it's in your face for a second, it scares you. But DBD has like a host of art people who are fucking killing it every single time. And they were able to translate what this crazy batshit guy ultimately had like a cool idea. And now it's ultimately so much more cooler because DBD joined with him. Inversely, that protectiveness means that we did not get everything that he has in his head. It means that some things couldn't be made the way he wanted to, and he had to say, no, we're not even going to touch Foxy. We're not even going to touch this because I couldn't see it. I think that is probably the issue with like why we didn't get so many skins, but it also leaves it up to like the guy's mind can change. It is one guy who you need to convince to add more skins. It's not like all Universal plus a different team plus somebody else and their lawyers. It's like one guy that they can reach out to. Makes me hopeful that there are continuations of it. But back then I was like, this is like a little nugget of gold that we're sitting on. And I play the Pizzeria map 10 times a day before I got sick of it at this point. And back then I was loving it.
I was like, wow.
Yeah, I want to touch base on the cosmetics. I think anytime I go against Springtrap today, it is either that Matthew Lillard cosmetic or his base outfit. And he's got like 3 other cosmetics. He's got a blighted one, which came out after.
I see people use Glitch Trap a lot too.
Yeah, Glitch Trap occasionally, but I mostly see those two, the base and Matthew Lillard. So, despite him having all these other cosmetics on launch, they're just not as popular, Yeah. But I think that it goes to show that base look is really appealing. Like even for me, who is not a FNAF fan, like I just always knew about it. It's not my cup of tea. It makes me want to play the killer, and then I learn he throws an axe for an ability. I'm like, no, I'm good. Which I think is another thing I want to touch on is like, I think it for me is like when they revealed his power, I was like, oh, he's got an axe. Like I was scratching my head. I go, where the fuck does that come from? And then
I totally forgot to mention that.
and then I learned that it's kind of more of a fan thing that they didn't incorporate. And then I think overall, I think Springtrap is great to play against because I don't play as him, but I think he's fun to play against. But I think there are parts of his power that are kind of afterthoughts, like cameras. Like I have no reason as Survivor to use the cameras, and even with the most recent tweaks, I still don't feel obligated that I need to touch a camera. I think it's just a waste of my time as a Survivor. Like my time would be better spent on a generator. But I love dodging the axe. That's always fun. I think his stealth kind of built-in stealth kit is really interesting and can really scare the shit out of you. It's gotten me a few times. The jump scares in the security doors is a really good kind of nod. And then even like the Easter eggs around the map where like you run in that room and something falls out of the vent. And then, the animatronics on the stage when you pop that gen in main, all just really good details. The ball pit is also just funny to see in the realm.
Tile.
Like when it's not there, I'm like, oh, I'm bummed. Like,
you're missing out on the time machine ball pit.
Yeah, like it's just it's a really cool map. I get people's complaints on it should have been an indoor map, or
It really should.
or more of the building should have been part of the map rather than most of it being outside. I totally get that. And I'm kind of bummed it is in another realm rather than being in its own realm, and that we don't have an offering for it. All just kind of weird oversights for an anniversary chapter. Yeah, like it's just kind of odd. And I know people really wanted a Survivor. As someone who doesn't know FNAF, I wouldn't know what Survivor they chose. A lot of people were like, oh, just give us like some original security guard. But I was like, I don't know if that's something that they want to do or if Scott wants to do. But yeah, all around really cool chapter. I'm really happy with how it is. And I see Springtrap pretty often. And I'm glad. Yeah, and
definitely, he's most popular, like out of
super,
like behind
absolutely.
Kaneki as far as licenses go, or is he beating Kaneki as far as like license popularity?
I'm not sure. I'm not really sure of those numbers, but I'm happy people are loving him, and it brought people into the game that are still here.
Yeah, no, Maddie's still stuck on Springtrap.
I just think that. I love Springtrap.
Yeah, and as you mentioned all earlier, it's a reason that we broke a record, around that time. I think it was the month after or maybe late that month. It was anniversary hit, FNAF hit, and then the Steam Summer Sale also hit. And it
was kind of like a trifecta.
Yeah, and that really boosted numbers. And unfortunately, those numbers have been hemorrhaged. Like we don't have those kinds of numbers now. People have fallen off and we're back down to normal numbers. But it was cool that it had that moment in the light.
Yeah.
That brings us to July of 2025. This month we got a new Rift and two licensed survivors.
We did.
The Rift was Entombment, which was the skeleton bone themed one. I think Knight is in that. I think Zarina is in that. A few other original survivors.
Elodie was in that. We're going to be talking about Elodie for this.
If
she
I remember
was
correctly,
done
I think
dirty.
that Rift is now in the store right now.
It is.
So it's a Rift that's only a year old that's come back. I don't know if that's like standard.
That
It
is
is.
standard.
It feels a little
About
quick.
year.
It feels a
It
little
is
quick.
fast, yeah.
It's a little fast, yeah.
So you can get that if you missed the Entombment. That's one I did not get. There were none of those characters I played, so I didn't get that. We also got the Walking Dead chapter. It was revealed. PTP was in this month, and it released in this month. We got Rick Michonne as Survivors. We got a surprise new map, y'all. Fallen Refuge, one of the best maps in the game. That was sarcasm.
You can't be serious.
We also got Daryl and Maggie legendaries. Daryl at launch, and Maggie came later in October.
In December or October? Yes.
Yeah, it was around
It
the
was like the
Halloween
Halloween thing.
event. Yeah,
Yeah.
along with Blighted, Unknown, and Springtrap, which we'll get into later. Y'all, I'll start us off with this update and this whole month. This was a hot fucking mess for DVD. We just came off the high of FNAF chapter. People were enjoying it. Yes, FNAF had a few bugs, but it wasn't bad. And then
It wasn't that bad, yeah.
The Walking Dead just broke everything. Like there were voice lines in the game that you could hear the directors in the
Yeah, the
background.
director, yeah,
Their
being like, "Oh, this is
perks
Hay."
didn't work the way they needed to. There was an exploit with other perks that made Jin you could get infinite charges on fucking what was it, toolboxes, and like it was insane, the month and the balancing issues they had. And also the Chandler Riggs stream was also around this time. It was a hot mess around The Walking Dead.
Okay.
Madison, I will jump to you. What did you think about this time of DVD?
Okay. I'm going to be gentle with this. So keep that in mind.
You
I'm
don't
gonna
have to be gentle.
This was the worst update in not 5 years. This was one of the worst updates of all time for Dead by Daylight.
Yeah.
Period. I mean that full
Easily
stop.
top 3. Easily.
It was top 3 worst. Because
That's on period.
let's go over this. They released the PTP. They say before the PTP, a couple days before, if you have a Walking Dead survivor, either Michonne or Rick, and you enter a match, there's like a 20% chance that a new tile spawns directly for them. People showed not some leeway. People were a little taken aback and a little upset. Not like angry, not like fix this, but like we don't love the idea of being a specific survivor changes the map tile. That feels a bit weird. And so behavior was like, you're right. We're going to give you a new map instead. And people were like, oh, okay. And we got one of the worst maps of all time. It literally feels like random bullshit. Go
Terrible.
the map.
Terrible.
Because there's a bunch of random loops that make no sense. There's a shack in the middle, and then there's the loop that was supposed to be for all the Walking Dead survivors.
And it's a strong loop. It's a really strong
loop. Exactly. Like it's not weak. It's not like ZL and there's a palette on the side, I guess. No, this is like a window that you can easily infinite and a palette that is super safe. Literally one of the best loops. And that is just the tip of the iceberg. That should have been our sign of, oh my god, this is not going to go well. The perks on PTB, half of them were broken. Like sometimes they didn't do what they were supposed to do, like even if you met the requirements. Sometimes they just wouldn't end when they were supposed to end. Or like Bryson mentioned, when you combine it, one of the new perks was Streetwise. You got an infinite toolbox that you can use forever in that match.
Last Stand made you vault faster when it wasn't supposed to make you do that.
Yep, and it made you vault faster when it wasn't supposed to, and I think it still kind of does today, but that might be placebo, but it was 100% back on PTB.
Michonne also did not have her voice lines in the PTB either.
Yeah, and I think Rick had his, but he sounded off.
Oh, and he still sounds awful.
Does.
Oh my god.
That does not sound like Rick. And that's another thing. Let's look at the survivors. Michonne looks amazing, beautiful, just like the actress. Oh my god, I love her. Rick, he's there. He looks like
he's there. I love that. He looked like he was beaten. Like his face has been reshaped from places.
Especially when you talk about the hair, because if you look at Michonne, it's so well textured. It looks so good. And then Rick's.
Yeah, Michonne is the best looking survivor, licensed survivor, I think. Like she looks 1-to-1 to the actress.
Yeah, it's kind of the reason why I see more Michonnes from Rick's, because and also the hook screams for Rick were a choice.
Daryl's are also bad.
Daryl's was also really bad. And that's not even talking about the bugs, which there were a lot of. Like, for example, every time you go into a match, a random pole on the left side would be there the entire time you were loading.
Jim the Beam.
Jim the Beam. As we all know and love. If you ever wonder why we have a badge called Jim, that's why.
Yeah.
There was another bug where when offerings were loading in, if you hovered your mouse near the top, you could see what it was, even if it was secret. I'm pretty sure a couple of the killers just did not work. If I remember correctly using my brain, Bly could no longer hug tech, but instead he would just slide off of everything like everything was made of jello. Same thing goes for Wesker and Demogorgon. There was no collision, so that was fun.
Is this the time we got the Deathslinger no aiming bug? Is it? Is this the thing? Which they tried to squash multiple times.
Half a dozen times.
Yeah, when you're aiming at Deathslinger, your gun would disappear and you would just be walking normally. And so Deathslinger would kind of just shoot his dick at you, and that was kind of terrifying.
Yeah, his hands just by his hips. A number of other bugs flies out.
Like, I believe there was a bug that caused your game to crash if you loaded in with a specific map or something like that. It was really weird. And just a plethora more. It was not great. Behavior is like, we are aware of these bugs. We will fix this for release. And people are like, okay. And then release happened. And then everything just got worse somehow. We got the voice lines from Michonne, and then we heard the auto director at the end of some of her voice lines. There was a random bug that was new, by the way, where if you had Daryl equipped, you could hear him screaming throughout the map for no reason.
Yeah,
Just did that.
very loud.
I believe there is a bug with, I want to say, Rave, where if he got out of invisibility and then got stunned by a pallet, he started T-posing on people. I could be wrong, so
I
feel free
believe
to
it.
correct
I
me on
believe
that.
it.
There was just a lot of bugs that were like, this is a multi-million-dollar company. You have to pay $20 for this, and then another $6 for the characters, and then they give you this. What are we doing?
What is baffling to me is the testing part. Like from the PTB, like when you hit send on that update for live, someone did not launch a match and see Jim, the beam, on the loading screen, or did you just not have time? Like, how do you not
was
have
definitely
time to
a
do
time
that?
thing, I think.
Like, what?
It was definitely a time thing.
And unfortunately, that is a common issue with behaviors. They don't have the time to fix these things. So, like, I think if from the PTB to live, they only have that first week of the PTB, that Friday of it launching, to get updates and changes into the live version. That's what I've heard. I don't know if that's true, but like that is a short amount of time, and you can't do much then. So that's just a common issue, and I think a big issue. I think with this update.
Yeah, there was another thing about this update that I kind of wanted to talk about really quickly. Two things, actually. The Rift and the Chandler Rig stream.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the Chandler Rig stream, because that's a bit more important for the talk of Walking Dead specifically, because the Rift is kind of its own problem, in my opinion. But in the Chandler Rig stream, basically they're going to do a custom game of creators like Otstarva and I think Hens, and they couldn't get the match to start because they were getting DDoSed. And we're not DDoSed, but basically there's a way for hackers, when people go into a custom game, where they can join a spectator slot. And there's only a certain amount of spectator slots. So if all of those are filled up and someone else tries to join, the game won't load. You'll be stuck in a loading screen. And these people can join when the game is loading. So some creators were like, hey, here's how to fix this, here's how to stop this. And the developers said, no, we're going to keep trying it our way. And eventually they had to cancel the stream because they couldn't start a game, because stream snipers were doing the bug to join people's lobbies without other people joining, and they couldn't start. And yeah, that was really embarrassing. On top of the information that we learned recently, that the main reason why Chandler Riggs couldn't be added as Carl in the game as a skin, for example, was apparently there was a contract with AMC that when Chandler Riggs was going to be of age, like 18, he was going to get upgraded contracts. His whole family moved for this contract, and then they killed off his character and he got removed from the show.
Yeah.
So that combined with everything else just kind of made it feel like, oh my god, poor Chandler Riggs, because he is a big Dead by Daylight fan. He's talking about wanting Carl to be in Dead by Daylight. And then all of this happens. If I was in his seat, I would be pissed. I would be mad. I would be like, what the fuck are you doing? I want my time back. Fuck you. Sorry. But it was just a mess. And I feel like that was kind of a straw that broke the camel's back in this case, because how do you go from one of the most successful chapter launches to this? Like, this is not only embarrassing, it's disappointing. You failed. You should feel ashamed of yourself. In my opinion. Am I harsh? A little bit. Do I think a multi-million-dollar company that's charging $20 and then $6 additional for characters for a new update should do better? Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
No, it was their passion project to do The Walking Dead. It was from their heart. It was the best they could do. It was their first time handling something like this. It was
Abysmal.
yeah, I'm out of excuses.
Yeah, especially when they deal with companies like Disney. Like, they had to deal with Disney, and they did better than this. Like,
And
That Darth Vader chapter was so good, and then they dropped this.
oh god. just really rough. Like, I don't understand what happened.
and let's talk about another thing really quick before I give the mic to someone else. I'm so sorry. I'm getting so passionate.
No, you're good.
But the Rift. This was one of the worst rifts of all time. the amount of wait, is this the right rift I'm thinking about? Is this the
No,
next
you're
one?
thinking of Reverence, which
I'm
is the
thinking of
last
Reverence.
rift of
Okay.
last year.
Yeah,
Well,
Which
here's
we'll-
another
hold
thing
your
I'm
ire, Maddie.
angry
Hold your
about
ire.
this rift. I feel like should be talked about more. Elodie was the star survivor for this rift. Part of this rift was focusing on Elodie. She was getting the nice ascended skin. She was getting going with the effects and stuff. The Knight also got one. The Knight got a badge and a banner. Elodie got skin. And you know who got the badge and the banner? Not fucking Elodie. It was fucking Sable. I think that is fucking bullshit. Elodie barely gets anything. But you know who gets it? White Girl of the Year. White Girl of the Month. White Girl of the Week.
The hot
White
alt
Girl of the
girl.
Day.
Oh my
I
god.
think it was so
Yeah.
fucking unfair. Like, she wasn't even there. And you know who got the badge and banner? Fucking Sable. I'm sorry.
Crash out of the episode. No, you're good.
They did
Totally
fix it. They
valid.
did
Totally
fix
valid.
it. And they did give Elodie a badge
did.
banner, but
Mhm.
she has. I'm sorry. Elodie has better lore. She has better cosmetics. She is cooler. She is more sexy. And you know who got fucking badge banner? Fucking Sable Ward. I'm done. I'm
Totally
sorry.
agree with you.
Oh my god.
Absolutely.
I'm so fucking pissed off this update. I was livid. Livid. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm gonna stop.
Stevie, what were your thoughts on the Walking
The
Dead
tome is gone. It can't hurt you anymore.
update?
It was just so blah.
Yeah.
And it still is.
Yeah.
It sucks when a licensed character is one of the forgettable ones, because it's like when it's an original character, it's like, they're a hidden gem. It's like somebody out there loves the twins because nobody loves them, so somebody does. But like when nobody loves Rick and Michonne except like the one person who loves Michonne, I don't feel bad. Like
Mhm.
I liked Walking Dead when it came out, and now it's not cool anymore. It's not like
That's the really good
splashy.
point.
They didn't do
Yeah.
it justice. Like
Yeah.
I feel like it's too late. I feel like it was too little, too late. It was
Totally.
half baked. It was.
Like if it was like 4 years
just a
ago.
step backwards. If it was 4 years ago, that would have been like insane.
Huge. Yeah.
Exactly. But they released it in 2025. Like, are we dead ass? Sorry.
No, you're good. You're totally right. It's the Walking Dead main show has been over for quite some time. We've had a
It also
lot.
fell off the rock. Like
Yeah, like the ending,
one of
the
the
last
worst.
few. See, I've seen all of the main show, and it's terrible. The last few seasons are fucking atrocious. Like really,
Yeah.
really bad. Like you have Michonne leave, Rick leaves, Maggie leaves at one point. Like every other character there, Daryl, Carol, etc. Like they just cannot. They are not. I'm sorry, but they are not main character worthy. Like they just cannot hold. They could not hold that show. And then just the plot just goes off the fucking rails, and it's
Yeah.
really bad. But
Also, I just realized we should put a spoiler warning a bit earlier because I did just flat out say they killed off this character. That's kind of big. But the show, in my opinion, fell off the rock and like kind of like killed itself when they killed off Carl. When they
Yeah.
decided to divert from the comics like they normally do,
yeah,
and instead
big
of
time.
passing the torch to Carl and then fucking kill him off, that's when I feel like the show just kind of gave up. Like
Mhm.
the actor for Rick was done. The actor for Carl was ready. It made sense in the story narratively and not logically to have it be Carl. And then I'm like, actually, what if we killed him? What if we killed
so we
my
can save a
boy?
buck, Like,
we
incredible.
would have to rewrite his contract. You see.
Oh, we would have to leave his contract, and we don't have that money, so we kill him. Yes.
Oh
yes.
no.
No.
But yeah, and then I was so eager to, I was so eager to main Rick, and then to
I remember that.
to not hear his grunts and his screams be Andrew Lincoln. I get it. You don't want the actors to do hours upon hours of all these action noises. At the same time, if you're not going to commit to the entire, if you're not going to commit to quality throughout the entire product, I don't want it. I don't
Yeah.
like, just get me a sound alike. And the sound alike you got for the screens and shit was
That's
awful.
not him.
Like
That's
it's
not Rick.
really, really bad. And like, I don't like, that's partly why, like, I get we don't have Sigourney Weaver voicing Ripley. However, we have the same individual voicing Ripley throughout in her entire voice acting. And so for that aspect, I love her for that. And it's all done really well, I think. But like,
Yeah.
I don't want anything half-assed like that. I think this is the worst example of that.
Yeah.
So
So yeah.
I think they can sink lower. I think that this isn't the worst we'll see.
oh
mean,
no,
I think
I
it'll
hope
get
not.
worse.
Do I want to say that? No. Do I think you're right, Stevie? Absolutely.
Yeah,
Like the
agreed.
fact they can go from Binding of Kin and then do The Walking Dead. Yeah.
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 Probably
No
the worst.
comment. No
Probably the
comment.
worst the license has been handled. I'd say all their
Oh,
other bad
100%.
all their bad chapters were like original, but this one was like worst in terms of licensed.
Yeah, no contest. No contest.
Yeah.
Like I thought Nightmare of Elm Street was done kind of poorly.
Yeah.
You think that until you realize that like it was poor for the franchise, but as like it's faithful to the 2010 remake.
Yeah, like it's
And
faithful
that's
to
all I
that.
could say.
And
Yeah.
it was fine on release back
Like
then.
Freddy's short because he's played by Jackie Earl Hale, who's a short king, and I'm like, well, that's kind of cute.
And unfortunately, that chapter is they're limited by the license holders because the license holders really just don't want to license out the older movies fucking weirdly enough when they're the best examples. Yeah, just a weird situation there.
Already,
But
I think
we'll-
we need to.
Yeah, we'll
Oh,
move
sorry. I,
on.
was gonna say, I think we need to move on because we're almost
Absolutely.
an hour in.
Whoa,
and we
we're
have,
gonna
like,
spend 1 month on each
in the
month. I thought that was
entire
the...
rest
Yeah,
of the
right.
year.
We'll spend an hour on each of these and release them over the next 12 days. No. Yeah, so August 2025, this, because of the Walking Dead mess, we get the Quality of Life Initiative roadmap update. This is the health update for the health update because the first one they announced was before the PAX East live stream. It was before FNAF was coming out. They wanted to make sure their ducks were in a row so that they could get and keep new people coming on because they knew they were going to get a big swath of players with FNAF. And this was the health update for the health update. This targeted high impact bugs and killer issues. They moved the September PTB and chapter by a few weeks or a few days into later September. That would be the Sinister Grace chapter. And then they delayed the November license chapter, which was Stranger Things, to January. Also, 2v8 was that month, and there were no new killers, and the Play While You Wait feature was introduced. Any thoughts here really quickly? I mean, health update for health update. Nothing really major came out of that because they did stuff for here, and then they kind of fizzled out with like anti-tunneling.
Yeah, Maddie, what are you feeling?
Go ahead. Yeah. I'm just going to say really quickly, in the grand scheme of things, this was probably the worst thing they could have done. Like, on paper, it sounds really good, but I feel like they could have just said, we're going to do this more optimally, and we're going to do these things, and not have delayed the content. Because what this did for year 9, it made it really dry in terms of content. Because there were, I kid you not, I think it was like 4 months where we got nothing. Mm-hmm. Like, I think it was from... Oh god!
Here was it. Here was when they announced that you will get nothing.
September to now, we didn't get any
putting
content.
it on the icebox.
September to January, or like September to February, there was no content. There was a Christmas and Halloween event, I guess, but it was the same ones we got last year. Mm-hmm. And we got like the Crusoe and V, which were good additions, but we'll get to that.
And they were very much like, yeah, we're going to delay the next thing a few weeks, but everything else is delayed at least a month.
Yeah. Like, ultimately, the best thing they could have done was just to send out an apology and then move on. By doing that and delaying stuff, I feel like it did more harm than good. That's all my thoughts for that.
Mm.
I shudder to think what we could have gotten if they released it on the original time frame. If we got a buggier Crusoe, we got like a less put together version of that original killer. Like, she originally released and it was like, oh, the numbers are wrong. Like, why does she have no cooldown here? Why does this work like this? Why does this do this? They tweak it. Now she's like B+. Before, if she released and like those bugs were impossible to fix and they weren't just number tweaks, I would be so bummed that they released just an S tier killer that's broken or a broken buggy killer that can't even perform.
Yeah,
it would have been wrong, I think, if they dropped like Crusoe at the end of August, or if they didn't announce this delay.
Yeah. Speaking of Crusoe, though, we have a chapter to go to in the month of
September
2025. Yeah, Sinister Grace chapter released on September 23rd, 2025. Released in a really Crusoe specifically released in a really broken state with middling perks, both V and Crusoe. Crusoe, even today, is not really a popular killer at all, despite how kind of cool she looks, and her power isn't all that unique.
Quick game. Can we name 2 Crusoe perks?
Ravenous?
Can you name a Crusoe? Ravenous? There we go.
Ravenous.
Can we get another? Hex.
It's a hex.
Hex.
She does have a hex perk.
That's
Hex,
it.
Not
hex.
Wretched Fate. It's not
Okay.
Hex, Wretched Fate.
Nope, that's Dracula.
That's Dracula.
How okay, she came out in September and we've already forgotten her perks? Is this what yeah.
Yeah.
She has Ravenous, Wandering Eye, and Hex Overture of Doom. That's just in my head because I know it all, but I know I know nobody knows.
Yeah.
I know nobody's used those perks.
Yeah.
I know nobody remembers.
I
them.
can't say though, we do know at least one of these perks because we love it so much.
1, 2, 3,
Road
4.
Life.
Because I can count to
Oh,
1, 2, 3, 4.
Road Life. Yes, I run
Road
Road Life.
Life, yeah.
All the time. Yeah.
Right,
I'm just like y'all. I'm
right.
just like y'all kids. I run Road Life.
God,
Yeah,
that
I
was a
love
terrible
my
part.
very niche. If I'm injured and hit 5 great skill checks, I get 100% healing speed, and if I ever stop that speed on somebody else, it goes away. Yeah.
What is it? A Gen Rush build? What is it? A healing build?
It's a healing.
It's
build.
healing.
Don't heal people so you can heal people faster, but also
Yeah.
don't do the gen so you can heal people.
Right.
But if you don't do the gen, you can't heal people faster.
Right.
Just
Right,
right.
right.
And they even changed
Yeah.
it. It's still bad. But yeah, we got, and then when Kurisu released, she had no cooldowns. When she came out of her human form, she could spit constantly.
She still can.
Yeah.
Like, these are something like it was really bad on release, but she can still do these things. She's still quite powerful, but
Mhm.
people don't really play her because she's very simple. It's spit on a survivor, go into head form, kill them, put them on hook, and then fly across the
And then
map,
repeat.
go human, repeat. You do that every single game.
A really boring power.
Yeah. She is fun to play, but it gets repetitive. That's how I feel about her.
And I think you really have to unlock the coordinated survive with friends or actual people who know what's going on, how to beat this specific killer for it to become more interesting than that. Because you have to add into oh, somebody gets spit on and now I'm healthy. I can body block while she's
Right.
in head form.
Exactly.
And that's interesting, but nobody knows to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
or-
when it does happen, most of the time the Chrissy will go head form anyways and then fly through you because she doesn't have collision.
Yeah.
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 And then it's on the other survivor to know that you're body blocking for them, so they have to go behind you. And if they don't know that, they're failing. They're not playing well by
Yeah.
playing around you. It's so
Weird.
weird.
Yeah. I do want to do a quick positives about this chapter because I do feel like there's a lot
Yeah,
of
go for
positives.
it.
Oh my god, I hear my dog. Sorry.
No, no
But
worries.
some quick positives. I feel like culturally this chapter was out of the park. I don't know a lot about Thai culture, but I feel like just looking at these characters, there's just so much love and thought put into these characters. V is one of my favorite survivors. I think she's really cute. I feel she
Mhm.
has a lot of personality, and compared to other survivors, I feel like a lot more people like her. Yeah, it's part of because she's a cute girl, but she just also has so much more personality. She's a rocker girl. She plays the drums. Super cool, super fun. Comparing that to somebody I hate to say this, Vittorio, so much more interesting. I love Vittorio, but he is cardboard, and she's a beautiful cake. Oh my god.
Give her more
And that goes
cosmetics.
for the killer too with the Krisu. I didn't know what a Krisu was. Now I do. She's
Yeah.
fucking metal. She's fucking cool. I love her head form, even if it isn't technically accurate, because technically a Krisu is a normal human head. It's not like the weird zombie head in her base skin. But you can change that thankfully with the very rare skin, which just
Mhm.
has her normal head. And I believe her winter skin also does that. So
Yeah, it
slay.
does.
And her backstory too, I've only read it a couple of times, but it's really interesting. She's not totally evil, but she's not a saint either. And I think that's really interesting.
right? It's your classic Faust story. It's been done a million times. It's the guy who wants to get really good at something, namely playing an instrument or singing.
She wants to
and
be an
then
opera singer. She
Bingo.
was an opera singer, but
She
wants
takes
to be
great
that.
power from an untrustworthy source that she doesn't know the consequences of,
Yeah, she
and then
drinks that
boom, she's a
potion.
monster.
She hits that chug jug and then becomes cursed with Krisu.
It's classic.
Cursed with Icon. Yeah.
Mhm.
So
It's amazing tales.
yeah, I just really I think she's neat. I think she's so neat.
I really think they're just neat.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I love the vibe. I love the art. Once again, the art team is slaying their pussy. They're doing amazing. And
They put the whole pussy in there.
Yeah, they did.
really good. But yeah, gameplay wise, sadly, the Krisu does fall into that pattern of the same thing every game. I will say though, the mushrooms are fun to eat. I like collecting them. They're kind of fun in a 5-year-old. Ooh, it's green. I like that
Yeah.
way.
Kind
No,
of
don't put it in your mouth. Don't put it in your mouth.
Don't put it in your mouth. Don't put it in your mouth. But actually, you do want to put it in your mouth to get better.
Mm-hmm.
So you get rid of the tendrils.
With the change, which came out soon after she released, with when you're hooked, you remove that infection.
Yeah.
The mushrooms became less significant, and I think that really kind of dumbed down her
Yeah.
power cycle. So
Yeah.
it was kind of a bummer.
Yeah. Also, one more thing I want to say about this chapter. She has one of the best Moris. It's so fucking cool. Literally sticks
It's
your
good.
tendrils in you,
Mhm.
pops your head. Fucking amazing. Love that. 10 out of 10. I want more of that. Man.
I
It-
think we will
go
get
ahead.
more of that, though.
Yeah.
I think that it's
Better.
a good sign that like this is the standard. This
Yeah.
is where they want to be releasing killers at. They don't want to do less than the Krisu anymore.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
she's been the goriest we've ever seen.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
I'm
Yeah,
down.
we already know that the Angel Killer's getting the Rapture Burning Mori, and the Anniversary Killer, if it is Jason, which I'm going to bet $1 million, it's probably fucking Jason.
$1
He's going to be
million.
putting you in like a sling bag and cutting you in half. Like, yeah,
Please
they
so
better keep doing what they're doing with Christo.
Pay up. It's my bloody Valentine. It's actually going to be the minor.
Oh no,
The mi-
I've got inside
Oh my
information.
we have
Yeah,
minor. It's on
Their
Trapper.
power is they
Yeah,
throw
we do, we do.
little heart boxes at people, and if they open it, there's a
Oh.
50% chance to get an epic level rarity heart. And if they
Oh,
get
God.
epic, then they get 5% haste. And if they really want to get a better one, they can spend $5 to get a new loot box.
Oh,
That's
$5
gonna be the
million.
minor.
Okay, the loot boxes are coming.
I'd play this killer.
Okay, let's move on from September 2025.
Yeah, but real quick, in addition to that, a Sinister Grace update.
can't-
We also got the
forget it.
Shape rework.
We cannot forget
Oh
that.
yeah.
A moment of silence for the Shape, please. Okay, thank you.
Well, like if it's a moment of silence for the shape, you also have to include the heavy breathing
True,
to
true.
imply
The
he's
heavy
there.
breathing.
That's true.
Come on.
A moment
Um,
of heavy breathing for Michael Myers.
they butchered my boy. as I will say.
reason. But...
And we also got the palette density update, which they got a lot of pushback on, and they had to tweak over and over in the concept updates following. So some kind of a not great update here overall.
yeah.
And
I
a lot of
think
people-
overall, it was fine, but
It
it
was
needed
fine.
to be better.
A lot of people pushed back on the Shape rework, and they changed nothing, literally nothing about his kit. From
Well,
the
he has more
PTB.
camera control now.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I love my
that
dash
was
flop.
that was the
I love
problem.
my dash flop.
That was it. That was it, right?
My name is Madison. I love my dash flop. Yay! No.
October 2025, we got a new Rift, Reverence, best Rift ever. That's a joke.
Why you always lie?
We also had the Halloween event and Blighted Unknown and Springtrap. The main thing here is the Reverence. This led from October all the way to January when we got the Stranger Things Rift.
111 days of the worst riff.
And it had
ever.
4 recolors, I think, and it had only the community cosmetic winners for the free track.
Yeah,
That's it.
for the free track, you got the free come out. You got 1 recolor, I believe, for 1 skin, or maybe it was 2. You got the free. No, you didn't even get a recolor. You got the community winners for the Survivor, Killer, Banner, and
Badge.
Badge. Thank you. You got 2 charms,
Yeah.
and I believe I'm gonna get this wrong. A recolor of a green skin, or I guess now would be a blue skin, and that was it. You got nothing else. In previous ones, you get more recolors, and you maybe even get like a very rare outfit.
Mhm.
This rift fucking sucked because even
Awful.
on the premium track, a lot of it was filler. A lot of it was like fucking
Blood points.
heavy foot's badge and it's a fucking foot picture. Like, no, we don't need that 10 times. And
I do.
also,
I'm kidding.
you want your 10 feet? Yeah,
No,
sure.
no.
Yeah.
10.
And I don't know. Were they high when they were making this? Like the skins that we got for like Trickster, Lee Yunjin, Adam, Vittorio, it was cool. It was awesome. But like 4 recolors in the normal track?
They weren't high. They were desperate.
What were they doing?
Desperate to get high.
They did learn their lesson.
They needed
though.
more crack money,
least
so
they
they
learned
released
their
the stained
lesson.
glass rift.
hmm
They did learn their lesson though.
Really
Thanks
cool
for-
trailer for the Rift, though, but really disappointing Rift overall.
Yeah.
I hate you. I hate you.
Yeah, I would have liked something a little more like, if it's reverenced, give me more like Catholic guilt themed. I don't need like stained glass. I want like,
Yeah.
I want
That's
these
another thing I
characters
want to add. That's
punished.
another thing I want to add. If the theme was like stained glass. I feel like they could have done a really cool theme of like reflection of like people who feel guilty about themselves. Like Lee Hyun Jin would have been perfect for that. I'm glad they did her. Trickster, no, he does not feel guilty about shit.
Yeah.
Get him out of here. I don't care. These two are a duo. Let's change it up. You know what would have been really cool as the killer? You know what would have been really cool for an angelic stained glass themed skin? Take a guess. Take a guess.
Night.
The Hag.
Rafe,
Oh,
the
yeah.
guy who has
That
so
helps.
much skill when he literally was killing hundreds of people without knowing. That would have been cool. Imagine
Yeah, that would be cool.
angelic Rafe.
The only killer who's sorry is the Wraith.
Yeah. This is a very visual, frustrated episode. So, listeners, if you want to watch the YouTube version, it'll be there. We'll
Yeah,
move
you
on to
can be
December.
really listening.
December 2025, or excuse me, November 2025. 2v8 returns. It was Konami themed. We got Pyramid Head and Dracula. They
Yay.
removed the Legion, and
Yeah.
they teased the Stranger Things chapter 2 on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, and everyone
American
was like, it's
Thanksgiving.
going to be Vecna. It's going to be Vecna.
Yeah,
Everyone knew it was
the
gonna be
teaser
Vecna.
did feature Vecna's silhouette, so we knew definitely for him. And then
Yeah,
the
and-
following month, December, we got the winter event, of course, and then 11 and Dustin were teased around Christmas time, I think.
Yeah. I remember people were like shook when they were teased because people were like, them? The children?
Yeah,
And
children.
I was like, oh, yay, I like these guys. So I was very pleasantly surprised.
Mhm. Then we jump into January 2026. Stranger Things Chapter 2, released on January 27th, features the first 11 and Dustin. Pretty great killer, pretty strong killer, fun to go against, in my opinion. Decent
Mhm.
perks overall that I see constantly, all three of his perks. 11 and Dustin, not so much, more so 11 than Dustin's perks. Robin and Eddie are legendaries, and all the characters got voice acting, including the previous Stranger Things characters.
Yeah. Yeah. Overall, I feel like this was the chapter that behavior desperately needed after the
Oh,
last
yeah.
two. The last two, Sinister Grace was disappointing. It wasn't bad. It was okay. It needed to be great. And then obviously Walking Dead was The Walking Dead. So this one needed to stick the landing. And thankfully it did. Vecna, as you said, was super fun, very strong. I do have a really big critique about him, but I'm going to get back to that when I talk about the negatives. 11 and Dustin look amazing. I like
They
that
do.
Dustin is shorter in the lobby. A little
Yeah.
sad he's not in a match, but I get for a gameplay purpose, he does need to be the same height as the Evermale survivors. The perks all around are either strong or fun, and I feel like those are really two important things that perks need to be. Like boom, 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 pow, whatever it's fucking called. The one
Bada
that
bada
times on
boom.
a window.
Boom,
Yeah.
boom, pow.
Boom, boom, pow. You know what I mean? But that perk, it's not good, but it's fun, and that's what's important.
Yeah, it is.
The teamwork perks, they're very decent, not great, but they're great for a beginner, which would be great for someone who really likes Stranger Things and wants to try Dead by Daylight because it has 11 and Vecna. And Vecna's perks are arguably one of the best starting perks that a killer has come with in a very long time since Artist, in my opinion. Every single perk he has is good. Like the undetectable, whenever a gen gets blocked, you can make whole builds around that.
The
His
Secret
turn
Project.
back the
yeah.
time, very strong. Arguably, not even arguably anymore. It is better than Pop Goes the Weasel, one of the best jump regression perks in the game. And let's not even get to his Hex perk, Hive Mind, which is one of the best information perks in the game, and has the added benefit that it can't be cleansed at the beginning of the game because you need to hook somebody for it to activate. And then you have to get information. But if people don't care and they just skip that, then you get benefit from it anyway. And you have a great killer. This is
Mhm.
one of the best chapters in a long time. And for both Survivor and Killer, it's fun, which is really important, and decently strong on the scale. Now, negatives. Negatives. Let's get into it. Specifically, Vecna. The last thing I wanted to see after we get Kaneki is another killer who can kind of ignore the core game rules, in my opinion. Kaneki, for me, breaks the rule of if you drop a pallet or you're using a window and you're making distance, you're fine. Like with a range killer, it's like, oh, I have to dodge out of the way. But if like I'm turning a corner, I have a wall behind me, and then I see that fucking Kagune symbol on my screen and my character freezes, I want to kill myself right then and there. I know I'm getting hit, and there's nothing I can do because on my screen, I have a wall. But on his screen, the killer screen, I'm standing in front of the pallet. I didn't want another killer who was going to be just breaking the core game. And sadly, Vecna is that. And thankfully, a lot of people recently have been recognizing that and placing him higher and higher on the tier list people are making. And I feel so cocky because I remember saying Vecna is one of the best killers in the game. I put him in my tier list, a little teaser, in S tier along with Blight and Nerves because he has one of the core abilities to ignore core looping rules. Specifically, he can hit you through walls and not have to worry about people body blocking him. And people recently have been saying, hey, the core thing about Vecna that make people don't like him and make him really strong is that it's the skill of the player does not matter. It's the skill of the Vecna. And that is the same thing with Blight and Nurse. It doesn't matter how good you are, it's a matter how good they are. Whereas other killers, it's more dependent on survivor skill. So my biggest downplay is I feel like Vecna in a pure design space is very unhealthy and sets a very dangerous precedent. I've parroted a lot when he came out of they're releasing stronger and stronger killers and not bringing other killers to par, and that's creating a very wide power gap. And we're seeing that more as time goes on, specifically when they rework the Trickster, who we're going to get to. We're going to get to that.
Yeah.
And I will really quickly add another negative I have is they don't release a map. I feel like I've been super easy for them to do a Hawkins map. I know not everyone loves an indoor map, but when League showed they had an idea for a map years ago and they didn't do it,
Or even a variant. Like that would have been a variant of a Hawkins map would have been nice.
literally. But yeah, besides that, very good chapter. Those are like my two main negatives. But besides that, very decent.
Stevie, your thoughts on this chapter?
I mean, you hit it. I think we're going to be seeing the Stranger Things characters for a long time.
Oh yeah.
This is the way you do a sequel chapter. You bring everything else that you could touch up to where you want it to be, like voice acting, skins for old characters, because you've got the license, you've got them on the hook. You just kind of keep sweetening the pot. And I'm glad that they were able to just jam pack it. What it like kind of lacks in like gameplay, it makes up for in like skins and textures and fun effects. Because when you're playing against Vecna, it's very much just like, oh, he's Huntress, but Pyramid Head, but also Nurse. But so you're kind of like, okay, I got to bring together all of my top tier counterplay knowledge. And then, oh, the guy playing him isn't even that good. So I can just kind of hold W. You kind of quickly run into like that loop of you are facing a Nurse. You are facing somebody who can break the game. And you have to kind of just beat them at the broken game. It might not be intuitive for new players, but I think if new players are going to start playing and are frequently running into Vecnas, it kind of teaches them that like some killers ignore the rules. You won't be able to like do everything you do against a trapper every time against every killer.
Yeah.
But that does mean that you run into more of these S tier killers, the killers that break the mold. And if it's more than just Nurse and Blight, if Vecna's in there a little more than Kaneki is, that's better than just Kaneki Blight.
Yeah.
You make
That's
it a
a good
third
point.
S tier that you face all the time.
Yeah. It's a good thing you mentioned that because I think 100% that what Dead by Daylight needs the most right now, besides upgrading their engine, is they need a dedicated tutorial to how to go against each killer.
Absolutely.
Because the current tutorial is so bad.
Yep.
And also, if you load into a match, the tooltip at the bottom sometimes is fucking a liar. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I remember for fucking, I can't remember which killer it was. I want to say Knight. It was like, when you're being chased by a guard, make sure to avoid line of sight. And then doesn't mention what do you do if you get caught by a guard. Like, they doesn't tell you about using windows and running against them because that will trick the killer.
Yep.
The
In a
killer
knife
summon to
fight,
go
try
back.
not to get stabbed.
Yeah. It's like, when they're being chased by the Wraith, look for the iridescent shimmer. But you can't see that iridescent shimmer if he's far away. So, like, I just feel like there should be, for Vecna, in my opinion, he's one of the key killers that kind of exemplified the need for a better tutorial.
You both bring up great points. Very much I would say, top of A tier, maybe bottom of S tier, maybe S tier, somewhere in there. I think that's a discussion we could absolutely have, which, again, another tease for something in the future. But I think he's a little worse. You know, I think he's worse than Nurse because he just can't go through walls. And he does have to play around some he has to play around loops, like he has to play around pallets and such, but and he can't break them with his power like he can Blight. So, you know, I think he's maybe at the bottom of S tier, top of A, but yeah, I think he's really fun to play. It's really much a mind game, and I feel like if that M2 is right underneath you, there's no dodging it whatsoever. I think the telegraphing for some of the rings is could be better, because I feel like sometimes I'm on the edge on the outside, but I still get hit. So I think maybe we really need to tighten up those kind of AoEs.
Yeah.
But I think overall, I think he's a fun player, a fun killer to play as and against.
Yeah.
And I see him quite often, and I like that there is some counterplay in terms of when I'm not being chased, people are on clocks and they can reduce that world breaker event and really help me in chase.
Yeah.
So I think that, and I like the built-in Mori. That's always a fun time.
Yeah.
In addition to this, we got a new Rift flashback, which had cosmetics for 11, and the first, it also had 80s themed for a lot of original characters like Jeff and Yui, and Nia was in there as well.
I think it was.
Hillbilly gets
Jake?
the rocker
Okay.
outfit.
Yeah. And then in addition to this, in January, Halloween, the chapter left us. Michael Myers, Laurie Strode's last day was January 19th, 2026, and Haddonfield was removed from the game permanently. So they not only reworked him and made him worse to play as and against, but they also said, let's control delete this guy.
That's definitely the reason why they reworked him. They were like, oh, he's leaving. We don't have time. He's going to be bye-bye. I will say, though, I don't feel really sad because this might sound really dickish. I can predict what's going to happen in a year from then. What's going to happen is that they're making the Halloween game. It's an ASIM. It's going to be fairly successful for, like, I'd say the first couple months. Then it's going to dwindle. And then the developers are saying, we're going to prioritize fun over gameplay. And it's going to get to a point where the killer experience is so off of the place, Michael, because there are a lot of ways for survivors to counteract the killer and sort of bully them. People are going to be like, we want these changed. They're going to say, that's not fun. And then, much like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, people are going to leave because, oh, why would I play the unfun side? I want to play the fun side. And then slowly but surely, people will go away. And then the developers will abandon the project without saying anything else, even if they promise to stay for the project. And then after that, you know what's going to happen? A couple of months later, we are happy to welcome back Michael Myers and Laurie back to Dead by Daylight with a few new tricks up their sleeve.
Hopefully
That's
more
exactly what's going
cosmetics.
to happen. Mark my fucking words. In 1 year, that's going to happen.
I don't know what you're talking about. TCM is booming.
Right.
Booming.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Let's move on. February 2026, 2v8 returns, updated killer classes, a new survivor class, Torchbearer enters the fray, triple survivor healing is introduced, healing tonics were added in place of the herbs from the Resident Evil version, and we got a double killer terror radius quality of life feature for survivors. We also got all kill comeback teases and PTB. This was one of the best 2v8s ever, I think. Like, I think this is probably the best iteration 2v8 yet. Very, very good all around. I love this version.
Torchbearer is like actually fun.
Oh, I think
I
think Chucky was added this one as well. I think I forgot
Chucky
to add
was also added.
Chucky was added as well. I forgot to
The
add that.
Chuckster. But yeah, this was fairly, in my opinion, probably the best update period to 2VA. This is the
Yes.
second best iteration of 2VA. I feel like the first one, just because it was like, oh my god, we finally got 2VA. This was the best iteration after the original, in my opinion,
Mhm.
just because it actually added gameplay. It added incentives to Survivor side, which was kind of the main problem because they added more killers. Oh, I can finally play Deathslinger in this game mode or Oni. But for Survivor gameplay side, they got like, you can now do this 5% faster. Like, no, we need to add something fun. So not only adding Torchbearer, but also just changing up what the survivor skills did for certain classes.
Yeah,
I
they
feel like
upped
really
those.
added that. And the permanent addition of the tonics was also really good because people really liked that for when they did the Resident Evil collab 2v8. So I'm really glad they brought it back permanently with this one because the healing and the hook stats reduction are really fun. And if the killer finds it, oh, that's also really fun. So I really like that. Yes.
And it's a great way to kind of guarantee that you're going to be a little more self-sufficient than normal, because the implication is that like, oh, there's 8 survivors, so we have to like nerf your abilities and make it more consistent, because if there was 8 people picking 4 perks, that would be impossible to juggle.
Right.
But when you give up that, you also give up like that slot you always dedicate to the self-healing perk. You know, you always bring inner strength because you know you can get a heal without bothering someone else. But now, you know, you can't pick that. It's a great way to kind of even the playing field of like you still have your tools as a survivor, even though you have a limited build. You just have to be like resourceful and find them.
Yeah.
This feels like 2v8 might actually be like a permanent mode to me, because before it was like, oh, we've got 2 new killers to add, let's launch 2v8 again.
Mhm.
Oh, we're kind of low on people playing, let's launch 2v8 for again. Now it seems like if every 6 months 2v8 comes around, this is like a reason for people to boot up the game every 6 months. This is like the reason a lot of people play, and if that is more consistent, the game might just pivot to supporting 2v8 a little bit more than 1v4.
Yeah. Also, something really quickly to add to that point, Stevie, something I really like about 2v8 is that it's a great way to introduce people to killer who have like that killer anxiety. Because when you have a friend to work with in a game mode that's a lot more party themed, a lot more fun, it takes a lot of that pressure of, oh, what if I fail? What if I get absolutely touched? Like, oh no, I have a friend. I can collab with them and like do different things and synergies with our classes, and I can try out the killer I'm kind of interested in, or just the role in general. So I really like that.
Yeah, I played a bunch of 2v8 killer in that iteration, and that's the most I played killer in 2v8. Play you wait while you wait really helps, and the reworked killer
definitely.
classes was a lot of fun, and just the tonics was just a blast to use as killer as well. And even just to deny a hook state or a heal state from survivors was a blast, because I spawn next to a green tonic sometimes, and I fucking pick that shit up instantly. I'm like, no,
No
denied.
one's gonna see this.
No,
But
thank you.
super fun. And yeah, I care less about balancing for 2v8 and more about prioritize fun. I do not care how wacky or crazy it gets.
Yeah. I will say though, I don't love 2v8 yet, only because they haven't added Springtrap. But if they add him,
Of course.
then it's gonna be peak.
I'm the same way, waiting for Xenomorph.
Yeah.
AVP.
Just add
we need
every
Predator.
license killer. I don't
Yeah,
care
just
about
throw 'em
the
in there.
bugs. I
Oops,
don't
all
care about-
licenses.
Uh-oh.
Well, they did say they were gonna prioritize licenses for 2v8.
They did.
Uh-oh, you're playing against the Nightmare and the Dredge? Sorry, the Nightmare Fall
You're
is
going
on
to
you.
hell. Bye.
Then we get to March 2026. All Kill Comeback chapter releases. We got Quan Tae Young. We got Mina Legendary. We got a Trickster rework. More of an update. Let's have a rework. We got a new realm, the Sleepless District, and a new map, Trickster's Delusion. And the Blood Moon event starts, which is still ongoing or in the day of this recording releasing.
This is where we're at, or basically,
Yeah, just finished up.
we just
Thoughts?
finished March.
Yeah.
Thoughts on All Kill Comeback? Go for it, Maddie.
If I had one word to describe this chapter, and I hate to use this word, it would be sloppy.
Sloppy.
Because-
Sloppy, okay.
Let me go through it. So, Quante Young lore and Mina lore, really interesting. There's a web novel series, same name, all Dead by Daylight, All Kill, Comeback. I read it. It was pretty good. Not amazing, but very decent. 7 out of 10, I give it. Like the addition of Mina as a character, I think she's really interesting. I like how Trickster's like, oh, fuck AI, fuck that copy. I'm so much better. Thank you. And she's like, oh my god, people love me. Do you love me, Quan? Do you love me? Love me. And I also just love the Mina skin in general. It has so much personality. And the map, oh my god. Trickster's Delusion, one of the best map graphically. It is beautiful.
Yeah.
I love looking at it. But let's get to the negatives. Playing on it as killer, I want to hit my head against a wall.
I
wanna go
hated
right
Survivor,
down
too.
time. Yeah. Not only is it kind of confusing at times, very like RPD, some of the loops there and the line of sight blockers, oh my god, it's
Mhm.
awful. There are some god palettes too, which I don't love. Like if it's one, I don't mind, but two sometimes happening can feel pretty rough, especially since that map is very divisive with their free gen situation. Because sometimes survivors will do gens and oh hey, you can't win because there's a gen there, and there. You are fucked if you do not have movement. And other times, if survivors aren't paying attention, you get a free win because all free gens are at the nightclub and there's nothing they can do because there's one on the road, one in the corner, and one in the nightclub. So yeah, the balancing on that could be a lot better. I'm surprised they didn't change some of the window spawns because the windows on
Yeah.
that map are actually pretty crazy. I remember saying on release, oh, it's not that bad. No, I was wrong. Those the map like window vaults pretty strong. Like there are some where the killer just has to walk around or they have to vault after it. or not vote after it. There are points where they can't walk around, they have to vote, and it feels really bad. And I can't remember who said it, but someone said, if you do not have movement, you will lose. And I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Mhm.
If you do not have any kind of movement on that map, you will lose. There's also kind of the problem on the PTB where there were some concerning elements of the map, like some of the translations of the Korean being not correct, aka run through like Google Translate.
Mhm.
There was Japanese characters on a poster on a Korean map for no reason. There were lanterns that weren't appropriately used in certain areas on that map that make no sense for them to be there. So that was kind of not a huge issue, but I do feel like it's worth noting because this is kind of a love letter to Korean culture, much like how Sinister Grace was a love letter to Thai culture. And the fact that, this multi-million-dollar company didn't have one consultant being like, hey, don't put Japanese on a Korean map for no fucking reason is a little fucking weird. I'm sorry to say. And if we're talking about gameplay, that's another big negative because I'm going to say it now that I've played him. They nerfed him. I don't know how they did it for a rework, but they nerfed the Trickster when they said they were going to buff him. I like the style concept. I like doing certain things and combining them in like kind of like a rotation to get more points to get to that S rank where you get like a lot of information in the main event, and he can be pretty strong on the right maps. But the 4.4 and reduced knives, you feel it.
That combo is really bad.
Yeah, and I feel like if he was 4.6, I feel like he'd be fine. But that 4.4 and the reduced knife count, it really hurts. And I get that we're trying to do the theming of 4 because I believe in certain Asian cultures, the number 4 is considered really unlucky and associated with death. But like someone mentioned it online, I can't remember where it was. If they wanted to keep the 4 theming, keeping him at 4.4, give him an add-on that changes his knife count and makes him 4.6 in return. That would have been perfect. And yeah, it's just really confusing things on that point. And then we look at Quan, who perk-wise, I absolutely loathe because 2 of his perks are just better versions of other perks. Why would I ever buy Leon when I can get Quan? Why would I ever get Kate Benson when I can get Quan? I get power scaling, not power scaling. I get that power creep is going to happen to a character and that certain perks are going to get better and they need incentive for people to buy these new characters. But much like Killer, I feel like we also have to remember the older characters, and obviously they're not going to get money from those old characters anymore, but it's about the idea that this $20 game has microtransactions. I feel like if you're charging us to get into the game, you should care more about the original characters instead of making them 4.4. That's my opinion.
All well said. I feel the same way about the map. I don't like playing it on either side. Visually, it's stunning. Love it. There's so many unsafe palettes other than the 2 god palettes. Some of the windows are just kind of weird or don't make sense. And it's just, and there's some parts of the map that just don't have any loops at all. Like that lower corner district where the grass bug is, that little area there, there's usually nothing there to loop. It's just like a room with boxes in it. And that's it. But like, yeah, it's just kind of, and then there's like nothing in front of the doors, like the escape exit gates. Those little areas there are pretty much dead zones entirely. But yeah, it's really bad, and it sucks that Trickster's map is really bad for Trickster.
That is really funny.
I just don't think Trickster is fun to play. But go ahead, Maddie.
I just really want to quickly add, because I feel like this is also something really important. Big positive. The marketing for this chapter, amazing.
Oh, spot on.
We got a web novel comic, and we got 2, not 1, 2 songs, which was No Escape featuring Kevin Liu and Bleeds on Me, which was an original one made by the main DVD composer. Both of which are absolute bangers. Capital B bangers. No Escape has been on my rotation on YouTube. I've like looped for days when that chapter came out. And Bleeds on Me, it's on my Apple playlist, favorited. You know What's good when I favorite that song. It's so good. And just like, And I feel like this is like the minimum and the bar is in hell, but I'm so glad they didn't use AI for the songs. I get that she's an AI singer, but I'm glad they didn't use AI singers. I'm so glad. Oh my god, they actually hired real
if they made a Mina Vocaloid, would that be
that would have been fine because a Vocaloid is not AI.
No, I mean like it's an AI, but like as a character, it's an AI.
Yeah.
It's not like a large language model.
I don't think they would do that though, just because that takes a lot of time and money, and then the return for that is going to be very low. But that would have been cool if they made their own Mina voice bank. But yeah,
No, like we can think about that later if people keep buying the Mina skin for a year straight.
exactly. That's also
Yeah,
another thing I kind
very
of want
hot
to know.
right now.
Mina skin, very popular, makes me question if she's successful enough. Will we get skins for her specifically? Will she get like be the first legendary skin to get
People
skins
want
for
it.
her?
People have been wanting that forever.
Yeah.
Some people don't
I
want
remember when
Robin to be
Chris
in
came
Skips
out.
Ahoy. Yeah,
I remember
Yeah,
when
after-
Chris came out, everyone was like, "What if Chris got his RE8 version?"
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's all kills. Stevie, any you want to share any thoughts regarding all kill
Y'all
comeback?
said it. I mean, I've spoken my piece on this chapter already. It's already fresh in everyone's mind. I think
Mhm.
it'll be what we have to deal with. It's the trickster that we
Right.
get now, and it's finally
Yeah.
trickster's map,
Mhm.
which is a little late, but it's
Yeah.
what it is.
Right.
And now we come to our final month, which is now April 2026. We have the mid-chapter BTB. We can't tell you the fruits of their labor quite yet, but it included killer tweaks, which Maddie and I covered last week, diminishing returns update, visual perks for your team when you load into the match. We're getting 2v8 later this month, not munch, featuring no new killers. Legion has been removed indefinitely. Deathslinger is getting some buffs, and Oni is getting some nerfs. And we're going to be getting a new rift, which they teased today.
Or it could be something else. We're assuming it's the Rift.
Yes.
It was very cryptic. It was
Yeah.
very cryptic.
Orella is voicing over a lot of blood splatter. We see different voice faces in it. Some people think they see Attack on Titan skin from what is it?
Mobile.
From the mobile version, which was a
Yeah,
Trapper skin.
It was the Aaron Yeager skin, yeah.
Yeah.
The for Trapper, where he's in this Titan form.
Yeah. I think Kate is it, or what appears to be Kate is in there. And then some
woman
people
of
think
some kind.
Yeah, I thought it looked like Kate, but it could be someone else. And then we know based on some leaks, Ripley's getting a legendary cosmetic, and some people presume that not Hicks, but Hudson, the Bill Paxton character from Aliens, appears, which I would be down for. I'm shocked we haven't got a Colonial Marine cosmetic yet for Ripley, but I'm happy we're getting one now. So we're not sure. This could just be upcoming cosmetics. It could be the Rift, which is a combination of stuff, which would be really interesting.
One more thing.
Go ahead.
One more thing about the teaser. There were also two other faces that people saw. One was like a skull cage thing and like a lady with braided hair. And people are assuming that on top of Attack on Titan and Aliens, there's also going to be a Darkest Dungeon collab because they do own the company that owns that property.
They do. Mm-hmm.
And it would be really cool to see those guys as skins.
Three licenses in one Rift. It's unheard of.
Yeah, it's probably not going to be a Rift. I'm assuming this is just this is what we're doing through April through May. April through May until the Anniversary Store Collection collabs that we're doing to keep people interested. That's my guess.
My guess is this episode will release a true trailer will come out, and then we're already behind. Like we usually are.
Always. Whenever
100%.
we record an episode, something comes out the day after. Always.
We can't ever catch up.
It's on a Wednesday. Yeah, we'll also probably be getting the Grimoire final results.
We will.
And this is our last vote, I believe, by the way.
Yeah.
Which is specifically killer cosmetic winner or killer cosmetic choice skin, the survivor skin choice,
Mm-hmm.
and what was the last one? Oh god. Oh yeah. Chapter key art.
Yeah.
Yes. And something really interesting to know about that is that the killer looks ever so slightly different in the key art, where they have a bit of a flatter chest. I'm assuming, this is an assumption, don't take it as fact, if the sort of like creepy head one where it's like in the black with like the chains and has like the sigils on her face wins, which I think is the one that's going to win, we might see a slight altercation to the original killer form where they get a bit more androgynous instead of being very feminine, because currently they have the boobs and have a very feminine face, but in the key art that some of them we see they have a bit more of androgynous, and people do say that the main reason for that is that it's concept art for the key art, so they're not going to add boobs details. But I do think it would be interesting if that did happen, where like kind of ever so slightly change the killer's final design based on the skin, because they did say depending on which skin we chose for the survivor, that kind of influences a bit of their lore and what future skins might look like. So I think, for example, my assumption is that if the killer one, where it's like the no face one wins, we might see more like cosmic / abstract designs for that killer for their skins. Whereas the one with the 3 faces might see more like Baroque / Renaissance inspired, like very like haunting angelic imagery for them.
I like that. I like that idea.
All very cool.
I just want to mention that because this is the last Grimoire vote for this chapter. And also, I believe we might be getting a new Grimoire in the anniversary because I did think, I could be wrong, so feel free to correct me. I did hear some information that they now have 3 types of chapters they do, which is original, licensed, and Grimoire, which is the community vote. So we might be seeing a future Grimoire vote in the year 10 anniversary.
Okay. Well, more on that later.
I'd be so down for it. 100%.
Yeah, I would be so
Like,
down
if they're
for that.
working
Having
on
one
this
guaranteed community voted chapter, that would be cool and very
once a
fun.
year would be sick, right? Like it's something to look forward to as a long-term player.
I have thoughts on that, which I will reserve.
Yeah,
just
because
because
again,
we're running out of time.
that's
but-
purely speculative. I could be wrong. I just have a bit of information.
Yeah, very cool.
That makes me think that might be doing that. I could be wrong, but we'll have to wait and
Yeah,
see.
and I didn't include any of the Grimoire stuff in this because I wanted to mostly focus on content that we actually got. But the Grimoire stuff has been very cool, and we'll have a future episode covering all those updates as well. So, before we close out on this subject, I want us all to give. Going to start something new. Give us a score on this year, and going forward, we'll give a score on future chapter releases. We won't do updates, but just chapters. What do we think on a scale of 1 to 10? Where do y'all fall in terms of scoring DBD in the year 9?
Like
Wait.
10 being the best.
10 being
Yeah.
like exceptional, and 1 being like awful.
I have an idea. What if we all say it at the same time on the count of 3? So we go like 1, 2, 3,
Oh
and then
god,
say our
yeah,
number.
yeah. I'll think. Can we do decimals? We're doing decimals.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wait,
I
decimal?
would say 0.5. That's it. No,
0.5.
like,
Okay.
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 so a 20
Okay.
point scale.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
6.
7.
We did not just do the 6, 7 thing. God damn
Yeah, we
it.
did. What do you mean we didn't?
Okay, Stevie, you said a 7. What's your reasoning behind a 7?
I was gonna like say that just the worst parts of it are forgettable, and like the good parts are gonna last. If in the moment it fucking sucked to have to deal with like the Rick and Michonne update, I was only a month. I mean, it kind of feels like if they keep doing this, it'll be a bad sign. But like, I don't know. I think if the year before last one was like an 8 in my head, 8 or 9, this is like a 7.
Yeah. And Maddie?
For me, it's pretty similar to Stevie. Like the highlights are always going to stick out from the worst. However, I do feel like The Walking Dead and with the Revelations Rift, which was the 3rd iteration of the new Rift system, it really hurt their reputation for this year. And combined with the kind of like disappointing outcome or release of both All Kill Comeback and Sinister Grace, the fact that of our 4 chapters, we had 2 bangers, so half the chapters were good and half of them were bad or decent and they need to be great. Not great. Also, another reason why I didn't really love this year is that I love original content. I love seeing behaviors take on interesting concepts and putting their own spin on it or bring exposure to concepts we never really hear about. Problem, this year we got, I'm going to be honest, 1 killer, 1 original killer. The rest were licensed. If we're talking about licensed original survivors, we got 2. Compare that to previous years, we're getting less and less original content. And I get that licenses pay them money, obviously. But I don't know. It didn't feel great. Like I like Stranger Things. I'm not a mega fan, but I like it. I love Springtrap. Not a huge fan of The Walking Dead. So for me, it was a lot of like, oh, that's fine, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fine, I guess. And then when it finally got to the original content, I was like, yes. It was just the killer gameplay wasn't super, super fun to me, or I never see them anymore. So I feel like that really affects the year. I don't think it's the worst year. I feel like, in my opinion, the worst year I want to say was Binding of Kin or Skull Merchants year. I feel like those are one of the worst, in my opinion, just because of how big they are. If I had to say which one, probably Binding of Kin. But overall, I feel like this year could have been a lot better, especially when they had to release a health update for their health update. I feel that really impacted the score of the year. So yeah, 6.
Yeah, for me, I think if we didn't get Stranger Things and that was maybe just another lesser license, I would say this score would be much lower for me. I think I might be a 4 or maybe even a 3. But I think with FNAF being pretty solid and something I was actually surprised I enjoyed, Stranger Things really being a peak of, I think, this year, really brings it up to a 6 for me, because I think the highs are kind of high, but I think the lows are really fucking low. I think they are dumpster fire trash. Like, it's really bad. Like, The Walking Dead, I think, was forgettable. I think Sinister Grace was forgettable. That power, like, I think that killer, I always forget exists until I'm loaded in and I see a mushroom. I'm like, oh yeah, that killer exists. Like, I rarely see her. I think All Kill Comeback is just fine. Like, Trickster, we were kind of, I'm seeing more Trickster, which is cool, but I'm not a huge fan of the balancing of that map, and I'm just not a Mina enjoyer myself. Like, Mina's cool, but I'm not a Trickster. I haven't bought Mina, and I've not played as her, so I'm not really into that. But very cool execution on that. So I just think the original stuff this year has this year 9 has been meh, like really forgettable, and I think the 2 licensed stuff they did was really cool. And then the riffs, the cosmetic stuff has just been really bleh, like nothing I've really enjoyed. Flashback was cool only because it was Stranger Things themed. But yeah, for me, I think, and then they spent a lot of time on some quality of life stuff that just didn't pan out, that I think they wasted their time on. Like we said at the top of the show, anti-slugging, anti-tunneling, that stuff, they spent a lot of time on that, and it just didn't go anywhere. And so they lost time and money to that. So, I think really, really kind of poor in those regards.
Yeah.
Y'all are not wrong for giving it a 6.
And you're not wrong for giving it a 7. It's all,
I think I am.
perspectives.
I think I'm like, that's way too high.
No, not at all.
Way too high.
Okay. I do want to ask you guys really quickly before we end off the episode.
Mhm.
Do you think year 10 will be better or worse than this year? I want to make this kind of like a tradition for every year. Like, do you think next year is going to be better or worse?
I think it'll be better.
personally, it's going to be better.
Yeah, we got to call it. It's going to be better. We got to be hopeful.
Because I'm just going to say off the bat, even though there's no leaks, no like, who could it be? It's going to be Jason. That's going to be the anniversary killer. It's going to be Jason. It's year 10. They've wanted him for so long.
We'll have a predictions episode.
It's fucking Jason.
Yeah, without Halloween, now you kind of need Jason. And I
Right,
feel like he
right.
won't be competing.
We are most likely
you
getting
might be
Jason.
convincing me.
We're most likely getting Jason for the anniversary. September, I believe, is going to be the Grimoire. September or December is going to be the Grimoire. Then we have the other. So December is probably going to be either original or no, it's going to be licensed. I'm going to assume December is licensed. And then in February, March, that's going to be like maybe another original or licensed. And then we'll have another license.
You'll probably have a paragraph in there somewhere too.
And then we'll
One or
have
two
like
of
a
those.
paragraph. They're
Mhm.
probably going to do it like a solo survivor. Yeah. But also last year or this year, I guess, they had only really 3 chapters. And then they had to kind of cut one out to rework iKiller and then bring a new map. Next year, I feel like since Trickster didn't really hit the mark for a lot of people, they probably won't do that. So we're going to get 4 full chapters again. So I feel like that's really going to help with the reputation. And we're also getting at least 2 banger chapters, guaranteed. 2 banger chapters.
Hopefully, fingers crossed. So with that's your 9 wrapped up. I don't think anything's going to come out that impacts our scores. We just have the riff left. 2v8's going to round out the rest of the year, and then we're going to go on anniversary. We're going to have an anniversary predictions episode coming up in a few weeks. That'll be the week prior to the live stream. But also join us for our live stream of the live stream. Like, we're gonna reactions, live
We're
react.
going to live stream
Live
the live
reaction.
stream.
We're gonna live stream, and then also just go over and check out the Twitch channel. We're gonna be streaming there regularly as well. Before we do, let's do our last little segment, which is gonna be running every episode. We're gonna do the Red Stain Radio's official killer tier list every week. Going down the killer roster, we'll quickly decide where one killer will live on the official Red Stain Radio killer tier list, and then by the end of it, after 40 something episodes, we will have our list, and then we'll add to that every time a killer releases. This week, we're starting off at the top. Trapper. Where does Trapper live? Very quickly.
Wait, where are the tiers? Where are the tiers?
Oh, yeah. This tier list,
I'm assuming it's
we have an S, A, B, C, D.
Yes.
Five spots.
D. He's
Yeah,
D.
he's D.
D.
100% D. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
on a good.
Duh,
No
Trapper.
comment. No comment.
He's in
Any
The
killer
killer
Trapper. Yeah, that's it. Okay,
Any
well,
killer where their power is dependent on them having to go to part of the map, pick it up, set it up, and then the survivor can disarm it. I'm sorry. You're
Yeah,
dead here.
rip.
You're dead here.
Well, that's all
And
we
I
have
heard-
for you. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I've heard some people say, "Oh, he's not that bad. He's actually decent." No, you're lying. Sorry.
Go up against high MMR survivors, and you'll think otherwise.
my high MMR lobbies.
Well, that's all we have for you this week, folks. Be sure to join the Discord to join our future community events. Also, go check out our Twitch channel. Link is in the description. You can engage with us on socials. You can find all those links in the description as well. Engage with us there. It helps us reach more individuals and gets us more listeners. Thank you, Stevie. Thank you, Maddie. Thank you, listeners and viewers. And we will see you in the fog next week.
Thank you
Bye.
all.
Love you guys.
Bye.
Next week.